Hey friends, the year is almost over, and before we all head into the holidays and get ready for 2023, I want to share the latest Checkly feature releases with you. I will show you the new Firewatch Home component, the new publicly available dashboards, and the new runtime, which we just released a few days ago. Let's get to it. I am here in my Checkly account, and as you see, the new Firewatch component is already saying hello. When you hover over this question mark here, you will see that Firewatch is a new component and it is the place where you can see your failing checks in your account without any distraction. When I click on it, you will see that I currently have one failing check. And as you see in the check description or in its title, this check is actually broken for a while. And maybe I don't have the time to pay immediate attention to it here right now. What I can do with Firewatch is that I can look at failing checks that are failing in a particular time frame. So you see here now that this check started failing 15 days ago, but I can go to the settings here. So I'm now in settings account general, and there is a new Firewatch option available. So you have to turn on Firewatch. And what I can now do is I can define what failed checks should be included in Firewatch. When I now go here and I change it to Firewatch only displaying checks that started failing not longer than a day ago, I can save these settings and I can go back to home, and it's now not showing me this failing test that is failing for 15 days. I can still access this failing check via the navigation here on top. Firewatch allows me to log into Checkly when I maybe received an alert to really see, oh, this just started failing not too long ago and I probably should have a look. Moving on, let's have a look at the new and shiny dashboards that we shipped. When you head over to the lab sections at settings account labs, or you navigated it from right here, you now have the option to have a sneak peek at the new public dashboards that are ready for tryout. If you enable them, you can head over to your dashboard section, and what you will see is that you then can create new dashboards. I already created one, and when we have a look, you can go into this, you can give it a description, you can define what checks you want to show, filtering by tag. Then you can enable incidents, and I will show you what that means in a moment. You can give it a Checkly URL, a custom domain, and you can tweak how it looks a little bit over here. When we now have a brief look, this is how the new dashboards look like. You see that I have one particular check in this dashboards, dogs not found. I'm not going into what this check is doing here right now. You can define a time frame for these metrics below here, so you can track availability, P95, P99, and all these kind of things. It's all reflected in the URL, which is nice. But we now have also incidents that you can show on your public dashboards. How does that work? So you can go to your dashboard configuration and you can declare a new incident. So let's do this, and I can say, oh no, over here, I can say that it is a minor, major, or maintenance impact over here. So let's go with major. I'm recording. And let's say that I identified this issue. When I now create this incident, you will see that it is popping up over here so that you can be transparent with your customers that you are working on an issue as we speak. And once you're done, you can go over here and you can resolve it, or maybe switch it to monitoring, investigating all these different states. Then you can say all good, and you can add an update so that you can be transparent and share what is going on with your platform and infrastructure. And I think this is just a super, super handy feature when you monitor your APIs and crucial website flows with Checkly. And lastly, we shipped a new runtime. When you go to checklyhq.com/docs/runtime/specs, you will see that we just shipped 2022.10. And the Checkly runtime is pretty much a pre-baked environment that we provide you to run your browser checks. So what you see here is that every runtime comes with a predefined set of dependencies so that you don't have to run npm install all the time and everything is super snappy and speedy. And you see here now that we ship now in the recent runtime with Node 16. So if you waited for features supported by Node 16, you can now switch to the latest runtime. But there are a few details that I want to point out here. So first of all, you saw the TypeScript feature flag in the lab section just a moment ago. In this last runtime in 2022.10, TypeScript is enabled by default. So you see here that I don't have to do anything, and I'm using TypeScript in this browser check here right away. If you're keeping track of what's happening in Playwright, well, Playwright started shipping a whole lot of new selectors such as this one, get by role. And we caught up and we are now on par with the recent Playwright releases. So if you want to use, for example, Playwright Code Gen to create your browser checks, you can record your Playwright tests using Playwright Code Gen, copy and paste these snippets right into Checkly, and it will work out of the box. And there is a new dependency that I am super excited about. So the latest runtime is also shipping with a new dependency, which is OTP auth. So if you're interested in testing your TOTP-based 2FA login flows, I will release a tutorial about how this works in the upcoming days. But this is now included in the runtime, which makes testing these flows pretty straightforward. Other than that, note that we drop Puppeteer support and have a look at all these dependencies. If you, for example, experience a major bump in your dependencies, this is probably the look if you switch to the new runtime. And these are the 3 features that I wanted to share with you here right now. It's the new public dashboards, it's the new runtime, and it's the Firewatch component. Let us know what you think of them, and I will talk to you in a few weeks when we have 2023 already. Take care, and I will see you then.